today. My name's Cliff. Always a pleasure to be here at Cadillac, and this is our new XTS. A lot of the big questions on this vehicle, we unveiled it out in Hollywood, in California, at the Los Angeles Auto Show over Thanksgiving, and I've had it myself with the public out there, and also in San Diego. So you saw the car first when it was a concept vehicle just a couple years ago. I worked that car. One of the nice things about working concepts and watching them go to production here at Cadillac is how close our design engineers in the concept phase work with that production team, because the only real change on this car physically is this all used to be steel back here, and they added that nice extra window. A sixth window or a third window on the side of a Cadillac is a first, by the way, as well, as far as your design. I'm going to light up a few things here. So as you notice, I'm hitting the lights, and the light spheres, this is a new thing that GTS started years ago. Now it gives the illusion that that light sphere goes all the way through that front fascia. Check out the door handles on the side. These illuminate as well. If you've noticed, we have two launches coming. Two vehicles went away last year, the STS and the DTS. This year, this takes the place of both of those in that size area, and I'll detail it for you. Basically, it cuts the distance right between the two. It gives you a front-wheel, all-wheel car that gives you rear-wheel drive performance. With the Haldex all-wheel drive system, it transfers torque back here and sustains the torque, splits the axle with electronically controlled limited slip differential, and gives you a performance feeling anytime you're on that gas pedal. Now, it's a 6-speed automatic trans with manual mode and paddle and tap shifting. So if you put the car in a manual mode, that's another way of telling the car you're going to drive aggressively and give that rear-wheel drive performance. Otherwise, you can select this car in a front-wheel drive. If you were a DTS owner, you like that front-wheel experience. You like the fuel economy of 18 in the city and 28 on the highway with over 300 horsepower. Now, a DTS used to only have, out of a big, heavy V8 engine, 275 horsepower or 292. This is going to be our new generation 3.6-liter V6 with direct injection, variable valve timing, runs on 87 octane, and it's going to give somewhere between the 3 or 320 range. They haven't certified yet, but they're already saying on the new ATS, same engine coming in above 320. So it'll be in that area, and that's the most that STS had. The gentlemen who were back here as I started the presentation said, wow, big trunk. Yes, they saved the important things of the big car. At 207.5 inches long, the DTS had an 18.8 cubic foot trunk. Never had the flip folding seat capability, and this is 18 feet back here even. So they lost maybe a shoebox. But we gave you 50 inches going lengthwise, so golf bags for fitting longitudinally or lengthwise in the vehicle. And notice I have one seat of the back folded down, and the pass-through can also be accessed. So if you have four in the car and you have somebody who's 6'5" or 6 or taller with a long driver, you can simply put it through the pass-through and turn this thing into a wagon very quickly. And then again, from the side, I'll hit these lights occasionally, and you'll see how they light up on the side. It starts with 19-inch tires and wheels, the 300 horsepower engine and front-wheel drive. And the nice thing about it is, first of all, you're wondering when it's coming available, late spring. So think in the area of May or June, in that area. And also on top of that, you're wondering about pricing, I'm sure. It's going to hold the line as far as where we used to price those last two vehicles that went away. We've seen this trend at Cadillac. Something old goes away, something brand new with newer technology shows up, and it holds the price and sometimes even goes down. This vehicle, they're saying mid-40s starting out. The one you're looking at, the highest level, we go base, luxury, premium, platinum. This platinum has the big grills, the special tires on the 20s, aniline seats, full wrap, not just leather seating surfaces on the inside, and a full wrap of the ceiling and every pillar in there with Alcantara suede cloth, plus the power shade in the back, the manual shades in the front. That's what makes a platinum a higher trim level than, let's say, a premium, and should be in the mid-60s. So mid-40s to mid-60s is your swing. Now, a couple areas that they really did things that, let's say, went very well as far as engineering and safety, and fun, too. First of all the way around the vehicle, as far as your suspension goes, we have hyper-strut suspension that negates torque steer in the front, hollow stabilizer bar front and rear. Back here we balance with air shocks, low-leveling pneumatic shocks. And with that we have H-link construction. I talked already about splitting the axle as far as performance, but we also circle the car with magnetic rack control. You've seen commercials of Ferrari chasing a Cadillac chasing a Ferrari. The news is, our wagon right over here with 556 horsepower took down $1 million California Ferrari on a road course. It even beat our coupe, too. But that extra weight on the back, 556 horsepower, is very helpful. But the magnetic ride control is really what Ferrari's after from us, because they should beat a Cadillac on a track. A Cadillac should ride better on the roads of America. Well, we're doing both better than they are. Ferraris knock you the fillings out of your teeth on those roads out there, and Cadillacs don't. They ride like a dream. So this car has magnetic ride control, and that's the ability to change the shock's viscosity. The fluid actually changes with iron particles controlled by an electromagnet. The electromagnet actually is the strut of the shock, and it can, for every 1/1000th of a second, change it as slippery as, let's say, a substance like gun oil or baby oil, or paste or peanut butter or PVC, that thickness, for every 1/1000th, every, let's say, change or difference in that parameter between those two different levels. So that's what magnetic ride control can do. On the inside, if you had an STS before, you didn't have much of a trunk or a back seat. If you had a DTS, you had a lot of room and you had a big trunk. This car actually gets bigger in the headroom and legroom in both front and rear seats than the old DTS. So last night I positioned that seat with a 6'6" tall gentleman inside, and I got sat in the back behind that. So that seat is still in the position for somebody 6'6", and with the sunroof, he still had, the way his body was cut. Everybody's a little different as far as your legs to your upper torso, but 42 inches of legroom in the front, 40 even in the back. And then you still have almost 40 inches of headroom in both rows as well. So it's going to take a big body and give you a lot of room. Now, to be absolutely honest, the car got a little thinner this way. So you're going to lose a little bit of shoulder room in there. No more bench seat. So they got it a little tighter, and it has a smaller wheelbase than either of those cars, but that's a good thing because it's going to make it more nimble. So you keep all the great things about it, balance it with the suspension of magnetic ride control, and I don't know if you noticed or not, but these Brembos aren't too far off the cars that go 200 miles an hour. These are 13.6-inch ventilated rotors with 4 piston calipers in the front, 12.4 on the rotors in the back, and 2 piston calipers. Then, here comes all the safety technology. These are options. Some of them are options, like the full color head-up display with adaptive cruise control. We have close range and long range radar going out of the front. We have radar in the rear that takes care of your side blind zone coming out of the rear quarters. And when you put it in reverse, that focuses in mostly on cross path detection. This car will automatically brake, warn you, and stop for you forward and reverse at slow speeds. High speeds, we'll identify what it does in a minute. But let's just say you're looking in your camera back here on your screen. Your ultrasonics are covering this area, and they're not talking to you. Nothing's happening. You're backing out at the grocery store, and all of a sudden your car vibrates your right-hand side of your body and stops. All of a sudden somebody goes whipping behind you. So it can see that out behind the car. It warns you in your seat. If you're looking to the right, somebody's coming from the left this way, and you're going one of these, and all of a sudden your car vibrates left and stops, that's because something's coming from this direction. So it'll do that for you, and at high speeds, it'll do everything it can, basically, except drive your car to try and warn you that the guy is loading up on his brakes or a refrigerator just fell off the truck in front of you. It will hit the brakes before you could have if you're staring at it. It'll chime, vibrate, continually hit the brakes harder, hoping that you're about to hit the brakes. It loads up the brake assist. So if you come to out of a sound sleep, and all of a sudden it's right there, you're hitting those brakes, they have all the energy they could possibly have. But know this, if you don't wake up, you are going to have an accident. It will hit the brakes absolutely as hard as it can before impact to try and reduce that impact. So this is that new technology, and all of that for under, or let's say in the mid-60s area. Now here's some more things that are really amazing. The head-up display, you can see what gear you're in, let's say, as far as 1 through 6 if you're tap shifting or if you're paddle shifting right here. It's full color and reconfigurable. You'll also have a phone icon and your navigation in there as well. The Q system, by the way, there's some film up here you might catch as I'm talking about it, because this won't be as easy for everybody to see. I'll open all the doors actually, and then I'll direct you across our floor where you can all get around a big flat screen and get a great demonstration over there by Jenna. But Q stands for Cadillac User Experience.